if I did? What if I said? What if I looked around at everything with love? What if I heard? What if I gave? What if my hand reached out to everything with love? What if I'm a beacon of that light that shines in all of us? And what if I'm the only guide some will see? Then I must recognize within a spirit, and it's only love. And I must be what I've come here to be. And I know the first step begins within me.
Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Reverend Dr. Michele Whittington and Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time and rebroadcasts on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday morning. Sofa Sundays with Michele and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day for all of those fathers out there. Thank you for checking that, Abby. We're on. To all those fathers out there, whether it's a biological father or someone that's just taking on that role, we appreciate you and we love you and we hope that you're celebrated today by everyone, actually. Just celebrate everyone. We went out to breakfast this morning, just said Happy Father's Day to anybody we saw. We just said it.
And you know, also, and usually Father's Day is for men, but also the women who have served in that role of father. We've got one in the room right now. So happy Father's Day to all the women who have played that role.
Yes. Multiple hats.
Multiple hats.
I've done that, switching back and
You
forth.
have. Yeah. So happy Father's Day to you as well.
I don't have to do it anymore. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
It's not one of my things now. But anyway, welcome and thank you so much for being here. And as you can see, we have a very special guest with us. 2 special guests this month. I mean, we're getting a little spoiled here on the sofa. But she does not pay us to say this. I say that every week. But I have to tell you that we are at the home of Reverend Dr. Michele Whittington's offices, her practice, all her classes and things that she does it here.
The Unleash Your Life Studios.
The Unleash Your Life Studios.
I love that. Let's call it that from now on.
That's what we say.
Thank you.
Yes, it's at 7220 North 16th Street. So if you are local, you're still on time. Head on over. We're we're very casual here. We know you've got other things in the morning sometimes, so head on over and be here in person. We've got lots of hugs and can't wait to see you. So there we go. But this is, we're so grateful that you're here, and we're grateful that you let us borrow this space. We say this every Sunday, but we get to say it to your face this morning. So thank you so much for supporting this ministry and helping us grow.
Well, I love supporting this ministry, and the least I can do is provide you with this space. So, yeah, you're welcome.
We love it too.
You too. You're getting very
I know.
It's like, we just got started. We
I know.
haven't even gone
We're not
anywhere
even
yet.
5 minutes in, and the tissue is coming out. Here you go. Gracious me.
We do want to send love out to Reverend Jeannie. She is seeing family right now out in Texas, and we just love you and we love your family. And
Yes.
we're so glad you get to spend time with them this morning. So just big hugs. We miss you as always when you're not here. but we do have a great fill-in. So I think
I'll do my best,
good
Jeannie. I'll do
hands,
my
we're gonna
best.
be all right. So, all right. Is there anything else that we normally do before we start up? It's hard. I don't have my normal counterpart. Did I do everything? Did I do all the things? Wow,
Don't
that
ask
seemed
me,
easy.
ask them. I don't know.
That seemed easy. I thought you know everything. I was told you know all the things.
Yeah,
All the things.
absolutely everything.
We do, right? All right. Let's pray in then. So, Drew, will you make a gong sound?
Gong.
No, just make the sound for me.
Ding.
You're so good. All right. Thank you. And then with that amazing gong sound, please take a deep breath. Let's breathe in this moment and release anything that's come before. Just let it all go. You can pick it up later, but we're going to be in this moment together. In the next breath, we're going to release anything that's coming up after our time. Knowing that it's there when we're ready. As we come into this beautiful moment together, this sacred time, this blessed time that we have set aside just for us. Recognizing there is one power, one presence. There's only one life, and that is the divine. That is spirit. That is God. God is love, joy, peace, connection. God is all there is. And God moves in, as, and through each one of us. Moving that joy, that peace, that connection, that love in, as, and through us in our own unique, perfect way. We are a manifestation of the one. It can be no other way. And so from that place of my knowing, from that place of my truth, I speak my word into the law for this morning, for our time together. Knowing that as each of us is in this moment, having released anything else, we are open. Our hearts, our minds are open to what we share, to our connection, to the feeling, to the love and the joy. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for this time. I'm grateful to be on the sofa this morning. I'm grateful that Reverend Dr. Michele said yes to being with us. I know that it is already divinely guided and so blessed. And so we let it go, know and trust that it's already done in the mind of God. And together we say, and so it is. And as Jeannie would say, oh my goodness, love my coffee this morning,
Is it
made
good?
by Ann Caldwell. A different barista this morning. It's delicious. Thank you for taking care of me this morning. Thank you, True Davis, for being with us all summer. True is running the sofa all summer. His sister has decided she's got enough with the camp that they're also working at. So True has been here so far every day, and he will continue through the summer working every Sunday, making sure our tech is done. He sets up our stage, sets up everything for us. So True, thank you. We appreciate you, and I love you. All right. Well, we have a great topic. We've been talking all about joy manifestation this month, and this month, this week it literally says, I am manifesting divine joy here and now.
I love it.
Well, that's easy. I think that's all we need to know.
What else do you say about
I
that?
think we're done for the day.
Yeah, okay, bye-bye.
That was a good one. Thank
Great
you.
job.
I'm so happy to be here, to have added my insights and wisdom.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And
Yeah, maybe we should say something else.
I think we'll go
Yeah,
there.
that's,
We can go there.
we could go with something else. Yeah.
You know, talking about in the prayer, just speaking to our truth, just our innate truth is that we are joy. We already are that. So I'm thinking about that, like, how do we manifest something that we already just are? Like, we're already just doing it.
Well, we're not, in my mind, we're not always doing it or experiencing it, but
There you
we
go.
are it. Even if we're not in this moment joyful, because I don't know about you, or you guys, but sometimes I can let outside circumstances affect my emotions. Does anyone else?
What?
Nobody else does that. No.
You're the only one.
I'm the only one. Well, then I'll just preach to myself right now. So I don't always feel joyful or express joy, but that doesn't mean it's not there, and that it is not instantly accessible if I can turn within to it, right? And that takes some spiritual practice and some discipline and some tools that you learn here every Sunday, or classes you take with teachers like I don't know me, or wherever you get your spiritual food. We learn tools and spiritual practices to help us connect with that innate joy, even when outside circumstances are saying there's nothing to be joyful about, right?
Right, and they can do that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, it does it a lot. Anytime you turn on the TV, right? There's constantly telling us there's not joy. That is not a joyful situation. We are not experiencing joy right now. Constantly happening.
Yep.
And so to be able to look at, we talk about it's like a coin, right? One side can be joy, one side can be the opposite.
Yeah.
But it's the same coin.
Yep.
So which side are you looking at? And it's not always easy to be like, well, I'm going to look at the joy side of the coin. I'm just like, whatever. Yes, that looks like, the most scary situation right now. And I'm just going to be joy. How about that? It doesn't always work like that.
It doesn't always work that way.
It's a lot. And the practice, like we talk a lot about practice, because it's a constant practice to continue to build the muscle or the side of ourselves that will turn to the truth, that will turn to the joy when it doesn't look like joy.
Yeah, and it's an interesting balance between not what we call spiritually bypassing something. Spiritually bypassing says, I'm looking at this thing and it's hurting my heart, or it's making me afraid, or whatever it might be, and going, oh no, it's all good, I'm joy. But without acknowledging that it is scary, or it is sad, or it is whatever. We don't want to spiritually bypass, because that doesn't do us any good.
Right.
That doesn't. So it's this balance between feeling our feelings, but not going down the rabbit hole of those feelings, and not getting stuck in I've been stuck in that, whirlpool, maybe in a cesspool, actually is what it is, of those negative emotions, to use our tools to then go, okay, yes, I'm sad, yes, I'm afraid, yes, I'm mad, yes, I'm this, but let me use one of my tools to get me to that innate joy that I am. And then I
Have the emotion, don't let the emotion have me.
I love that. Ooh, you couldn't hear what Ann just said. Have the
And
emotion.
let's get a mic on Ann, because she's spitting out.
Yeah, that was
knowledge
right.
right now.
Yeah.
You've got to mic that woman
I
out.
try to remember to have the emotions, not let the emotions have me.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's brilliant. Write that down, Michelle, so we can quote Ann
Yeah.
Caldwell. As Guru Ann Caldwell once said.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
Yeah, that is so true. And this bypass thing, I think, is so important. When we bypass, it's not the same thing as manifesting anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
and it doesn't feel the same way.
Right.
So if you're just like glossing over it, oh no, it's just gonna be,
All good.
I'm just joy. Look at, I'm just happy all the time, and I'm just, that feeling, you can all feel it just as I'm even doing it. It's not the same thing as truly recognizing the truth of what's happening and sitting in the joy regardless of the appearance of the opposite or whatever is happening outside of that. It's just, so that's why we constantly talk about, we're never talking about a spiritual bypass. We're never talking about, don't honor those other feelings that you have that maybe you don't like. Maybe I don't like being afraid. Maybe I don't like being angry. Maybe I don't like being sad. Okay, but that is the feeling that's coming up. And then maybe there's work to do around that, and that's okay. It's okay for that, because it's a little signal saying, hey, something's happening right here that maybe we can focus on. And I have a little practice called VALID, and it stands for, so I have it here, it stands for, when I have clients, and I'll teach them to journal. So if they're having a spin out on something, so say that they have an argument with somebody and they're really angry and they're having this, and this happens a lot with this particular person. I'll ask them to write down everything they're thinking about, like just the brain dump. And a lot of practices will have you do this, like get that out of your head. And then I'll say, go back and look at each sentence separately, because each sentence is its own story and is telling you something, right? It's its own story. So you need to first validate whether or not that story is true. Is that story that I'm telling myself and terrorizing myself or keeping myself sad or keeping myself angry, is that story I'm saying even true? And it's not the whole paragraph that you write out, it's this every single sentence. That's so if you don't know how to get yourself back to joy or out of anger or out, this is a great practice to just dump it all out, everything you think, and then go back and ask yourself each sentence. The first one is validate the story. So you would ask yourself, what's actually happening, and do I believe that this is true? Is this true? For a fact, do I know that this is true? Okay. And then the second one is ask clarifying questions of the external. So like, did I ask the other person involved to verify that information? Or am I just assuming that information? So I use the example of I'm walking down the hall at work, Sally walks by me with, an angry expression on her face, and then I say, oh, see, I knew it, she hates me. I've always thought she hates me. It's obvious.
Proof, there's proof
Oh,
right
she
there.
hates me, yes.
There's proof.
So it's running in my mind. I go tell some other people. I'm like, I'm all in that, right? But did I ever validate that story I'm telling myself? Instead, I'm upsetting myself with it. And now I'm telling other people. Anytime I see poor Sally, it's got this whole thing going on. But I never asked Sally, is everything okay? Are you upset with me? Is there something I need to know? I never asked her anything. I'm assuming what that look meant.
Can I give you a quick story
please,
about that?
Please.
I'm just reminded.
Yes.
So for many years, I would go speak at Glendale Community College. The professor that I met through a congregant at Creative Living Fellowship, it was a class on death and dying. And when they did the spiritual aspect of this class, this professor asked me to come and present the spiritual aspect. And of course, my presentation, my take on the spiritual aspect is very different from maybe a traditional Christian perspective. So I never knew, we had 40 people in this class, never knew how they were going to be receiving me.
Okay.
Right? And so there was one time, this woman sitting in the very back like this. The whole time.
Oh my goodness.
And my little brain was like, oh boy, well, she's not liking what I'm saying. And I just had to really get myself grounded and focused and like it doesn't.
Because that can throw you off.
It could throw you off. One thing, and then, your brain. Mm-hmm. So I got through it and it was over. And after it was over, she came up to me and I thought to myself, oh boy, here we go. Right? Brace myself for being blasted.
Yes.
Right? And so I didn't ask because she told me. I'm not sure I would have had the guts to go up and ask her. Right? So had she not come up to me, I would have left that place thinking, wow, she really hated that. The fact is, she came up to me and she says, I have never in my life heard a perspective like that, and you blew my mind. She was thinking. Mm-hmm. That face was a thinking face. Maybe she was just cold. I don't know what this was about.
She was cold. Well, sometimes when you're hearing something that you've not heard, like you're protecting yourself too, you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm what.
But she said,
interesting.
And she said, where is your church? I have to come to your church. And she and her husband started coming to the church. So
I love that.
Yeah, check it out. Ask. I love
that. Does take courage though.
Yeah.
Because you're so built up that story in your mind.
Yeah.
That you think they're going to confirm that story.
Yeah. And you don't really want that story.
You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. You already know. I already know.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
You could be wrong.
Right. So the first thing is you're going to validate the story. You're going to ask for clarifying questions. So even how do I know this is true? Do I have facts or am I assuming? And then the second one is then you're going to look for other possibilities. Why would Sally, is there any other reason why Sally might have looked at me like this? You can think of a dozen of them, right? Like she's had a bad day. She didn't see me. She was preoccupied in thought. She was in a hurry. She was like, whatever.
She just got in trouble.
She just
by her boss.
She had her own issues.
She had her own issues going on.
But none of those has anything to do with me.
Right.
I was just happened to be in that space, right? And we've all done that. Walked right by somebody and then like, oh, I didn't even see you. I'm so sorry.
Whole chapter in my book on that.
confidence.
Yes.
And Anne has a book about that. The title of the book again.
Communicating with your employees, collaboration in the real world.
Communicating with your employees, collaboration with the real world. And if you'll go on to the Facebook, like put that in the comments, because that's a great book. If you have a business and you need to understand how to work with this kind of stuff, that's a great, that book is all, she's an HR specialist in case you didn't know.
And brilliant one, by the way.
Yeah.
I've used her a
We
lot.
all hire her.
We all hire her.
Help me.
Yeah, right. Help me.
So you're gonna look for other possibilities. So what else could be true? Try at least 2 or 3 things, right? And so what you're trying to do in this process is unravel the story. You're trying to, it's got a hold on you, it's causing you pain. You're trying to unravel the story, get it off of me so I can get back to feeling good about whatever's going on, or I can make a different move. So the next one is inspect my beliefs. So now that I've looked at these things, do I still believe this story is factual, or is there a reasonable doubt here? Is there a reasonable doubt? And then with that, you can decide to move differently. You can decide to make a different move to where you're no longer, causing yourself a bunch of grief over something that you don't even know is real, right? So that's a great practice to use whenever you have something like that. That is just, if you're seething about something, that feel like just one of the best things you can do is just dump all that out. Let yourself have your say. All the things you want to say, put it all down on paper, and then go back and check for if it's valid. So that's a great, all these little practices.
I love that practice, Michelle, and I also love hearing something that. So I have a saying: truth is truth. Meaning, no matter what format or label you put on something, if it's actually true, you're going to see it in all different places, right? You're going to see it here, and it will be said this way, or you see it here, it'll be said that way. Different language, maybe a slightly different perspective, but it's the same thing. And so what you just described, and I've never heard that before. I love that. I love that you came up with that. I've never heard that before. You just described in the work of positive intelligence, which is something that I love, and I'm a coach in it, and I teach it a lot. And it's really about moving your brain from the saboteur, who's the one who's making up stuff and feeling bad,
storyteller,
right? There is one little step I think we need to be sure to do, which I'll talk about in a second. But what you were talking about was out of the saboteur mind, in the sage mind, which does exploration. And that process you just did was exploration. And that's a sage power of our brain. Literally, this is a section of our brain.
You define those two, the sage and the saboteur, because if they've never had that practice.
That's true. So so there's literally, and this is researched, documented, 500,000 people in a study that took 10 years to document. There's really 2 parts of our brain, and in one side of it, we have saboteurs running, and there's 10 of them, but they are the ones that cause us upset, concern, frustration, anxiety, anger, lack of self-confidence, lack of self-worth. That's what they do to us. And we're very used to going down those neural pathways of the saboteurs because we've gone down them a lot. So they're very quick to kick in. And they're strong. But there's another side of our brain called the sage brain. And in my mind, although this research and work is not spiritual, in my mind, the sage mind is our God self. It's our divine self. It's where our divine ideas and energy come from. And we can get from the saboteur side to the sage and utilize these amazing, there's 5 powers, amazing powers, one of which is the explore power. And the explore power says, let me look at all the factors in this. Let me take a look at everything that I'm not seeing. That's what your valid process does. And then the last piece, because there's 5 different, I won't go into all of them, but you used one too, I think, of empathy. So empathy is looking at, care for myself, but also for the other person. Like, what could have been going on with Sally? She might have had something going on with her that, of course, had nothing to do with me. She's had a bad day. She had a fight with her husband. She just got in trouble, whatever. That's empathy, care for another. And then your decide is the last one, which is action. Take clear-headed, focused, laser-focused, clear-headed action. you just described a whole sage
love it.
process there.
I love it.
Different umbrella, different label, but still the exact same.
And because truth is the truth.
Truth is truth.
And at the end of the day, the sage is in the present moment.
Sage is in the present.
Most of the tool, I think every tool I have,
Yeah.
if I look at them all
Yeah.
they're really doing is putting us into the present moment where we actually have all of our ideas and our power. That's where God is. And that's
Present moment.
where we connect there
In the now.
and we're able to move forward correctly.
Yeah.
So when we're outside the present moment, like we've talked about before, if we're in all these other emotions, right? If we're in the fear, the anxiety, the worry, if we're in the sadness, the anger, and we make moves from there, they are not going to be the correct moves for what's actually happening, which is what's in the present moment. And when we can use a tool like this or a tool like that, it pulls us into the present moment, and then if we make a move from there, it's the right move. And oftentimes it's a move that sounds ridiculous or silly or whatever, but it is the correct move for what's actually happening, not the stories that come from those emotions just spinning around. So really what this tool is, it pulls you back, because when you're in the sage mind, when you're in exploratory curiosity, you are present in the present moment.
And you have access to your innate joy.
That's it.
Roll that.
And that's how
you
it
just
that
put
together.
that right
And
back.
that's how you manifest joy.
That's
Yes.
right.
And that's, I think, I'm pretty sure every practice, most practices, that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to strengthen our abilities to stay present and stop being pulled out of that, because everything else is in the programming just pulls us out of the present moment, because we don't have any power there. We don't have, like, that's,
Yeah, it's either in the past, it already happened, or we're projecting what might happen.
and that never happens. It rarely happens.
It rarely
where
happens,
we
yeah.
think like
Yeah.
that. And why? And like you said before too, why would I terrorize myself with that right now? It's not happened yet. Like, why?
Yeah.
I'm missing out on what's right now by terrorizing myself with something that may never come, or if it does come, it's not here yet. So
Yeah.
stop that.
Mark Twain, and I'm going to paraphrase because I can't remember it exactly, but he said something like, I've had a lot of this horrible experiences, and a few of them actually happened.
That is one of the best
I
quotes.
love
I
that.
know the quote.
I love that
Oh my
quote
God,
so
it's
much.
such a good quote, because we all can relate. We're all like, oh yeah, I have terrorized myself
Yes.
a time or two, and it was never
Never
actually
actually
was a
happened.
reality, you know.
Never happened.
So that's I think the gist about manifesting anything is being present. Get yourself back to present. Whatever you need to do, if you're spinning out on something, those emotions are real, but they are not rooted in the present moment. And if you can get yourself back to present and say, look, what's actually happening right now? You don't have to use this tool or that tool, but what's actually happening right now? And just right now, okay, well, this is what's happening. Okay. And what would I like to have happen? I would like this to be happening. Okay, then what's my move from here? Then what do I do now? And you already know. When you are present, your connection is, you just already know it. Well, and it's going to tell you in like a hot second. And then all this BS will come flooding in from your brain, like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. You can't do it. Last time you did it, this is what happened. Oh my God. Yeah. And you can't listen to that. You have to just be like, nope, I heard the first and small, tiny voice. That's the one. I'm gonna run with that as fast and as hard as I can before the other stuff takes over.
Yeah, I don't think your intuition, I've said this a million times, I don't think true intuition, which you can learn how to discern true intuition from all of it, but I don't think true intuition will ever, 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 ever steer you wrong.
Yeah.
No,
Ever.
you can't.
Ever. Ever. We just have to learn to discern it from the noise, and sometimes the only way to discern it from the noise is, well, I have a 3-step process.
Do it. You should always share anything you have, please. Oh my gosh, we'll take all of your
I
advice.
have a 3-step process for discerning intuition. So simple. 1, if you get a hit, number 1, listen to it. Like, oh, there it is. Step 2, follow it or don't. It's a choice. Follow it or don't. Step 3, observe what happened.
Right?
Right? Seriously.
Yep.
Seriously.
Whoops.
Observe what, it's either a whoops or a thank goodness. And the more you do that, the more you strengthen your ability to hear your intuition. Because if we haven't been listening to it, it does get softer.
It's so quiet.
It gets very quiet if we have not been paying attention. But once we start paying attention, it gets louder. And then it won't take too long before you're like, oh, that is clearly my intuition, or that is clearly not. That's my ego. That's a saboteur in my brain. That's not intuition.
Yeah.
You'll know the difference. And for some people, it's gut feeling. For some people,
I always go. It's like right here.
it's there.
I feel
So
it
for me, it's lower, but for you, it's
right
there.
here. I feel it right, like
Yep.
right away. Like there's like a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people get chills. Some people just get a mental, like, yep, that's it.
Yeah. My brother-in-law Nathan, he like hears like
A voice.
God's voice to him,
Yep.
and he hears a voice. It talks to him, and he'll talk back. Like he'll say, "You need to do this today. What are you talking about, God?"
I've actually done that too.
I had different plans. I was gonna go.
No.
And then it's like it's so strong that he'll follow that, and then he's like, "Okay, which way do you want me to go now? Turn. Which way am I supposed to turn? I have no idea where I'm going." You're just following along. But he has practiced this practice for so long that literally God gives him in a car.
I love it.
The stories are almost unbelievable, except that I know him personally and I've known him for a long time to know that he's not lying.
Yeah.
And I know, or not making it up, or not deranged, not weird or anything. Like he's literally, that is like legit for real, but he has been listening and following the voice inside of him for so long now that it is loud and strong, and he knows he'll follow it even when it makes zero sense. It can make, he came out of a speaking gig one time, and he was going to head home, and God said, "No, I want you to take a ride up here." And he's like, "Well, I told Jennifer, that's my sister. I told Jennifer." Okay. Started going, and then he's calling her. She's like, "What do you mean? We're supposed to go somewhere." Like, "What, babe? God said to take a ride. I don't know what." So she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like she's always so like, But it led him down this really cool opportunity. It was just around the corner. It was a abandoned. I hope I'm telling this right. If you guys are watching. An abandoned schoolhouse led them to this abandoned schoolhouse, and they wound up buying the property and renovating the property, and it's like going to be this whole amazing center now for like it's this whole thing.
Wow.
It's random, this stuff. God will do crazy things through you. And I'm telling you that you will think is ridiculous or nuts. Like sometimes I've heard that little voice, and I've been like, "I'm not doing that's ridiculous."
Yeah.
And it was the right answer.
So I had one, not quite as dramatic as that.
I know.
story.
I want
That
to get that
story
good
is
at it.
amazing.
I want to be that good
Yeah.
at it.
But I've been since February speaking twice a month at Unity of Phoenix because their regular Wednesday night minister moved, and so they needed fill-in until they replaced. And so since February, I've been speaking twice a month. And when this first happened, their lead minister, Reverend Richard Mirage, asked, would I just do it? All of it. Oh, no. I don't want to speak all the time. I'll do 2 a month. So that's what it's been, 2 a month. It's been great. I love it. And about a month and a half ago, I just got this hit. Offer to speak all of July. I'm like, no, I don't want to speak.
I don't want to do
I don't want to do that. No. And so I resisted it for a while. And yet, I teach intuition. I'm like, yeah, you really should practice. I do try to practice it. I do try to practice it. So I'm like, all right, I will. I don't know why, because I don't really want to, but okay, I'll offer it. So I offered, and it was like, yes, please. There actually happens to be 5 Wednesdays, but you don't have to do it. But it's funny because he said, but we already have the first one booked, so do the last 4 of them. Okay. I still didn't know, why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. And then last week I discovered why.
Why?
Because they've hired a person now to fill that position. She's not here yet, but she will be here. And my gig is going to be up.
Oh.
My subbing gig is going to be up.
Oh.
Which is fine. I'm fine with that. But it's like, it will be like a last hurrah.
Oh,
Almost.
Nice.
So it just like, that's why.
Okay. All right.
So Spirit was just lining it up for me to have that kind of final thing. And I may speak once in August, possibly. I don't know yet. But that's why. And I just love that.
It's nice when we can get the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to go and we don't necessarily
We don't know why.
get the answer. But
Like Nathan knew because he saw the
Yeah.
school.
he was
I
like, oh,
I knew because that's why. That's my gig is going to be
Right.
over.
right?
Okay.
I mean,
I like
it's just so interesting. I know. It's so interesting when we can be in that awareness and that trust and that awareness. It's such a big deal. That yeah.
Yeah.
As often as we can to be present.
Yep.
Present.
And that's where the joy is.
That's where the joy is, and that's why you're a manifestation of divine joy here and now. You already are that. We already are that. Every day.
Every day,
Every moment.
Even when we don't feel it. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish you didn't have to not feel it sometimes. But I guess we wouldn't really know joy if we didn't know, if joy is one side of the coin, how would we recognize some of these things if we didn't ever have the opposite?
Yeah.
We wouldn't probably recognize anything. I think that's why we do that sometimes.
And perhaps it wouldn't be as special.
Yeah.
If it was just all the time, run of the mill. Yeah, it's joy.
Yeah, joy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, another day of joy. Oh,
Like
boy.
another fun day. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. You got a mic? Good.
Somebody once told me, maybe you, that we resist those negative feelings. We don't want to feel the sadness or the fear, but the extent to which we allow ourselves to feel that, it's like opening up a channel. It's the same extent, the depth at which you can feel joy.
Yes.
If I don't open myself up to all of it,
Yes.
I don't have any of it.
Yes.
Oh, I like it.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you can't. You probably did hear me say that because my therapist back 30 years ago shared with me, because I was so blocked from my any anger or upset. I was just a good girl and everything was good and fine, and I had no access to negative emotions in me. I just rolled them over like, and it was my therapist, Marilyn Powers, who I attribute, credit her with who I am today. She's the one who said, you can't, if you are not feeling the negative emotions, you cannot also feel the positive ones. You can't, it's the emotions are emotions. You either have access to them or you don't. So if you really want to deepen into love, I was there to try to find a love partner and fix me, actually, so I could be, right? If you want to find deep love, you've not found it yet. In these 2 husbands and 1 million boyfriends you've had, you haven't found it yet. You want to try to really find deep love in yourself and for another and true joy, you got to have access to your upset, your anger. So she made me like beat pillows and yell and scream. And I'll never forget one quick story. So that was so new and foreign to me because I didn't do that. And so this one time I'm in her office screaming at the top of my lungs, beating a pillow, yelling, and and I walk out. I worked for a law firm at the time, and I was a manager over a lot of people, including brand new lawyer hires. I kind of managed them. And I walk out, and one of my new little lawyer hires was sitting in her lobby because he was her next client.
Oh dear.
And I had been shrieking and yelling and cursing. And the walls aren't that thick. And he just looked at me and went, hi. Hello. I'm having access to my feelings. Bye, have a good day. See you tomorrow.
That's a little bit embarrassing.
Oh, I was mortified.
She didn't have the secret door where you come out the back.
She didn't.
I know.
Oh my
I
God,
walked
that's
through her
not
lobby. You said,
I had that happen, except it was a client.
Oh.
I was a CPA and it was a client. No, I was a CPA and I walked out and one of my clients was sitting there, a brand new client.
so that's even worse.
Oh,
That's even
yeah.
worse.
Fortunately, I had not been screaming, but I walked out of my therapist's office.
Okay,
So-
well, okay, got it. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes, please.
Nice.
It's hilarious that you say that because, there's something that helps, like just beating something up. Last weekend, we had a kind of like work, team building thing. And we went to a rage room where, we just take these back and you can just like go to town or whatever. Like we all like left that place like feeling refreshed. It's amazing. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
I have been known to send clients to, did you go to the one in Tempe?
Yes.
Yes. I've sent many a person there.
It was
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Rage rooms are the
Rage
answer.
rooms. Yeah, get it out, get it out. Access your joy by going to a rage room.
Oh my gosh. And that's, you know, when you have, because it's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
You can't
Have one side.
act like there's only heads and no tails. Like
Yeah.
there's both sides.
Yep.
They go together. Like Grandma Ellen.
Baby side.
That always gets a trigger. But you know, it does feel like that. It feels like I don't want to feel those feelings because they can hurt. You know, and I don't think I mentioned this in the last Soap Sundays, but we put one of our dogs made his transition. Our sweet boy, Handsome Jack, and I know, and to go through those emotions, that is the depth of love, you know.
Yeah.
That's I don't want to use the term price to pay, but those feelings, that sadness is because of the great love.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't have it any other way. Some people don't want to have the love because they fear the sadness. They don't want to have that, and they just go, I had to put a dog down once. I don't want any more dogs because it was so painful, whatever. It's like, did you forget all the love though? All the love that came from? Like, of course you're gonna miss them, but the love, oh my gosh, you know? So it's a thing that humans, in the human experience, we do that, but we do. If you can shut off the sadness, like I'm gonna protect myself from being hurt like that, feel that ever again, well, I'm also don't get to have any of the love either.
Yep.
That's what you're doing, and I don't think that you think all the way through.
We do that with relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, you are talking about a relationship with a beloved animal
yes.
companion, but we do that with
Still.
human relationships.
Right.
You know, I've been hurt by this or that, and I don't want to be hurt again, so I'm just not going to go down that road.
Put all my walls up,
I
push all your walls up.
think we hit a chord with someone sitting right there in that second row because she's giving me the stink eye right now. But it's true, right? We do that.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. But I would say, having, you know, gone through a massive loss of my love of my life, it's worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
Even that horrific pain of losing him. I'd do it again in a heartbeat if I could have 30 years again.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I think about that a lot, you know, and I really, I lost my train of thought because I went to Lonnie right away.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I love me some Lonnie, though.
Happy Father's Day, Lonnie.
Happy Father's Day.
Not that you
Oh,
were.
he was a father to many people.
Yes, he was.
Totally. But yeah, and you know, and we lost another dear friend this last week, right?
This last week, yes, we
and
did.
I want to put his picture up because it was such a
It's a picture of joy.
share. And it's
It's a
100%
picture of joy.
So let me pull it up. So I'm gonna, you guys are seeing all the stuff here.
There he is.
Can you guys see that? Yeah. Yes. And this is his daughter wrote this. Is that
Yes,
correct?
his daughter wrote that.
So
Yeah.
it says,
Yeah.
"It is with deeply saddened heart that I share with you that my dad, Christopher Guru Karam Gallagher, passed away in a car accident June 10th on his way to his annual summer retreat in New Mexico. Ricky Gallagher and I are heavy with grief, but grateful that we were blessed with such a goofy and weird dad. He passed away with a purple beard and pink eyebrows, which is so on point for him. I don't know yet if we'll have a service. Dad and I talked about this stuff, and he said he didn't really care because he won't be here. If we do, we'll let everyone know, but for now, we'd appreciate love and prayer as we adjust to life without our dad and the grandkids adjust to life without their silly grandpa." What a beautiful, beautiful man, and what a beautiful representation of manifesting joy and kindness and service. Like, he was the epitome of those things. Just a beautiful soul and a beautiful light here.
Yes, and I learned of his passing on Wednesday about 5 o'clock, and then headed up to Unity of Phoenix to do my talk that night.
Lord.
And so he was really on my heart and mind. And as I was driving home, and I'm heading south on 7th Street, and right there by the point, I think there's this kind of a little mountain pass,
Yeah.
right? So and it's dark and it's
Pretty there.
it's pretty, but I was right in that pass, and he loved to hike, so it was perfect that I was right there, and I had so much more than a thought. It was so much stronger than a thought. I'm quite sure it was a little visitation from him. And he said, I'm looking down at all you guys being sad. Don't be sad. This is the greatest adventure I've ever been on. And I'm so excited to see where it takes me. Now, if that's not joy, right?
Yeah.
Being excited for the adventure. And I'm like, okay, Christopher, I hear you. Okay. I mean, I'm still going to be a little sad if you don't mind. I'm still going to be a little sad. But I absolutely know that he said that.
And I appreciate the care of him to come and tell you that, and tell all of us, because that's how he would be too. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. You don't need to be
I'm
sad.
having a good time. What are you talking about?
This is a
Yeah.
ride. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just always, I posted on our Sofa Sundays account 3 pictures. He used to come to the children's church, and he would bring that big gong, and the kids would, oh my God, can I touch it? Can I hit it? And he'd be like, oh, you're gonna hit it. I'm like, what? I'm gonna hit it, And I have a picture of all 3 of my kids getting to hit the big gong with him. He was just loved children. He was so wonderful. He offered the gong wash every Sunday that he could.
How many years?
So
I was trying to
beautiful.
remember how many years.
7.
7.
Yeah, we're so blessed to have that.
And that was volunteer. He volunteered
Yeah,
that.
he loved to
2
do that.
services every week, and if he couldn't be there, which didn't happen very often, he made sure he had a
He
cell.
did.
And he was selfless.
Selfless,
So,
beautiful.
so blessings to you, Reverend Christopher
We love you,
Gallagher,
we love you,
on
love
your
you.
journey of
Yes,
joy.
bless you on your journey.
Thank you for bringing so much joy to all of us.
Yeah, and I love that saying. The one that comforts me about with my mother is the one, I'm not going to remember it off the top of my head, but the one that talks about they go before us.
Yeah.
They're not gone. They just only go before. And that always comforts me to know, especially who has gone before, preparing the way.
Ernest Holmes said.
Which one did he say?
And he said that those very words.
Mine is Saint
Yeah,
Bernard,
yeah, but
or whatever that
Ernest
one.
did
What does
too.
Ernest say?
Well, that they have not gone; they have just gone before. That's what he
all-
said.
that's
They
all
have
it
not
is.
gone; they've just gone before.
They're not gone. The body stays here. The body belongs on this plane. That's all that is. You shed this
vehicle.
body to go forward. That's all. But the spirit's not gone. Remember, we're not human beings. We are in a human experience. We are spiritual beings. And this is my space
This
suit.
is my spacesuit right now.
My earth
Body
suit.
bag.
I guess I should say my earth suit.
Yeah.
My body bag, yeah.
Yeah, my body
Right, not my
Oh,
body bag.
don't
Okay,
put that like
well,
that.
that's a little wild,
I
yeah.
don't like that
Well,
one.
I hear what you mean. So anyway, do we have any comments, any other
Yeah,
shares?
any
We
shares?
feel complete on this? We feel good today? Do you have anything else?
I don't think so.
Thanks
This is
for sharing some of your even tools. Yeah, and you are in the middle of finishing up a PQ, Positive Intelligence class right now, but you do offer those.
I
Do you
do.
post them on your site when they're coming
I
up? Or?
sometimes do.
Okay.
I
Because if you've never experienced that, so I went through, Michelle had invited me to go through it for coaches earlier, and it is so powerful.
Yeah.
So maybe if you ever
Yeah.
off that again, we should put a flyer back here
Sure.
for people,
Yeah.
or let us know. We can post it in the group. But
Yeah.
I think it's if you've never learned that, it would be a valuable tool.
It's a very valuable tool.
Yeah.
I love adding it to my toolbox.
Yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
so we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely support that coming out for us.
Thank you.
My
Absolutely.
nose is running. I must have allergies.
You must have allergies or some tears, maybe, perhaps.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so- all right. Well, do you want to pray us out?
Oh, I would so love to pray us out.
True, can you do the gong, please?
All right, so let us just take a breath, eyes closed if that feels comfortable, and bring that breath all the way down into your belly, into your diaphragm. Let's do that one more time. And as we are here now in this present moment, where the divine energy of life, also known as God, lives, the eternal now, that is all there is. We know that living, moving, and having its being in this eternal now is the very essence of joy. And it is my very essence, and it is the essence of every single one of us. It is our truth. So as we anchor into the truth of our joy, we simply open the space for it to express itself through us, in us, out of us, and back to us, regardless of external circumstances or conditions. So once again, we simply anchor into the truth of our being, which is joy. And we allow it now and as we walk this journey of life, as lifes, as a friend of mine said, life keeps on lifing, it does. But even as lifes with its ups and downs and trials and tribulations and celebrations and happiness and all of the pieces of life, let us remember this moment of accessing, being present to, and opening up to that joy that is within us. So I accept that we have this access more readily from this moment forward because of this time that we have had. For that, I'm so grateful. I say thank you, Source. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. And with that, we simply let it be. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me today on the sofa.
So happy you were here.
Thank you guys for being here too.
Absolutely.
I know. I'm glad everybody was here today too. Well, thanks for asking that, how you can support us. Listen, if you felt supported today, if this spoke to you, if this helped you, we would love for you to support us too. And that is, there's several ways you can support us. First of all, the easiest way is just to share our talks. You know, like the feeds, share the talks, comment on them. That all helps the algorithms. I love that little word. The algorithms know that something's going on here, and they share it then themselves. So we're on Facebook at Sofa Sundays in the Sofa Sundays group. We're on Instagram at Sofa Sundays, and we're here on YouTube at Begin Within Ministry. So we would love for you to share our information. We would love for you to come in person and hang out with us if you're local. There's nothing like having a room full of people, and so we'd love for you to be here. And also, if you financially would like to help support us, you can do a one-time donation at beginwithinministries.com, or you can become a spiritual church club partner, get a fancy mug, which coffee tastes really good out of this mug. This one, or tea or whatever you put in here, tastes better from this mug. But that is $45 for an individual and $75 a month for a couple or a family. So we would love to have your support, whatever way you can do that. Thank you so much for being a part of our spiritual church club. We love you all and hope that you have a wonderful, I'm saying goodbye, Drew. So I want to say a wonderful Father's Day to us today. And so if you're in Arizona, stay cool, man, because it's hot.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah.
It's getting hot. Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time, or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.